In this video, I'm going to show how to place the front window regulator on this Honda Pilot. We'll have to take the door panel apart for this job. Let's get started. Let's start by taking off this sail panel. Usually you can grab onto it and pull, and that'll unclip it, set it aside. Right behind the door handle, you'll see a little cap. With a pocket screwdriver, you can remove that cap, and that'll expose 2 Phillips head screws that we have to remove. Right below the grab handle, you'll see an opening with a Phillips head screw in it. Remove that as well. Now, using a plastic trim tool, go around the edges of the door panel and just pop out the clips that secure this on. It's usually easiest if you start at the bottom somewhere. All right. Now you can lift this up. Can't go too far with it because we still have things attached. Now to disconnect the door handle cables, this is what you'll see down here. So this lower one is for the handle itself. Unhook that and lift the cable out, and then unhook this and lift the cable out. Then we'll have to do the same thing on the top, but it's upside down. With a pocket screwdriver, pop the cap off and then remove the cable. Further down, we have some electrical connectors. Unplug this one, and then the 2 that go on the switch panel. There's one. For this main connector, you're going to want to pry this locking tab, which will unlock this, which should then swivel over and unlock your connector. Now we have to remove the vapor barrier. It's got a little rubber plug here that holds it on, and glue all around it. Just be gentle when you do this. Try not to break it. Of course, you could tape it back when you're done, but obviously the less you break, the better. I'm going to unplug the door latch just so I can get this wire out of my way and pop out this retainer. Keep peeling this off. Get that wire through. All right, just about here is where we can stop. Now with the key in the on position, grab your door panel, or if you push on the back side of the switch, it'll pop right out of the door panel. And what we can do is plug this in so we can roll our window up. Of course, if yours is already up, you're gonna have to roll it down a little bit. What we need to do is get the window and the regulator lined up with this oval hole right here so that the bolts can be removed from the regulator that hold the glass on. Right about here. I'm going to unplug this and shut the ignition off. Now use a 10mm socket and remove the 2 bolts holding the window on the regulator. And the other one, you go right through this opening. Of course, try not to drop it inside the door. Now you want to grab your glass and lift it straight up and have some tape ready so that you can tape it to the top of the door. That way it can stay here without it falling down while you work. Put several pieces of tape up and over. All right, that should do it for me. At the bottom of the door, you'll see where the regulator mounts to the door itself with 3 10mm headed bolts. Remove all 3. At the top of the door, 2 more 10mm headed bolts. The black one we'll have to remove fully. The silver one we can just loosen up because it'll go out through this opening. Our regulator is still plugged in. Keep that in mind. It's easier to unplug it once it's out. So then what we have to do is unhook it from here and turn it. And looking down inside the door, we can see the electrical connector here, which we have better access to. Unplug it and remove the regulator through this wider opening of the door. And there it is. Now take the new regulator and slide it down into the door. Just like that. And then we have to plug in our wiring harness. Make sure that clicks. Now take the regulator and hook it onto the top. Line it up and hook it in, and make sure this hook goes in as well. And then just to stabilize it a little bit, I'm going to put in this other bolt. Now I know that it's centered. Now let's line up the bottom before we tighten anything up. With all three lined up, snug them up. And when you bottom them out, give them about 1/8 of a turn at most if you were doing this by hand. Back up at the top, same thing, snug them up, about 1/8 of a turn. With the ignition on and the window switch plugged back in, let's lift up the regulator where it bolts onto the window right about here. Perfect. Carefully peel your tape away. And now, carefully lower it into the regulator. Okay. Let's secure the window through the regulator again. Before I tighten that one up, I'll put the other one in, just in case if it has to move. And I'm going to snug these by hand, about 1/8 of a turn after they bottom out, so that's snug right there. A little bit extra, same over here. It just needs to squish into this plastic tab a little bit, and that's all. Get your vapor barrier reattached. Make sure these cables go through. There we go. And the wire for the door latch as well has an opening here. We'll re-secure it with the retainer and plug it in. Make sure that clicks. If you need to tape the vapor barrier, go ahead and do that. Up at the top it had the 2 rubber plugs. Pop those in. And on the other side, this should hold it on nicely at the top. Let's plug in the electrical connectors on the master window switch. Make sure this clicks. And the other plug. Make sure that clicks as well. And finally down here we have this other connector. Make sure that clicks as well. Now let's hook up the cables again. This was the door handle right here. Lock it in. And then hook it back over on the retainer. And lock it in. And this cable has an adjustment to it, so you want to make sure you put it back pretty much where it was before. Otherwise, it's not going to lock and unlock the door, or it will lock and unlock, but it's not going to show on the lock indicator accurately. There we go. That's right about where it was before. A little bit of it was sticking out. And lock it. All right. Now get the door panel hooked up and over at the top first. And once it's pressed all the way down, you can then go around and tap in all the push clips. Just feel around to make sure there's no gap. Perfect. Right below the grab handle, let's reinstall the main anchor screw for the door panel. Snug it up. It's only going into plastic, so give it about 1/8 of a turn after it bottoms out and gets snug. Otherwise, it'll strip that plastic insert. And don't forget about the 2 right by the door handle. Same thing, just snug them. Okay, this one had the little cover. Get that back in. It should lock into place at the top. And lastly, this panel at the top. Line it up, press it on, and the job is done.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.